Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I had a couple of requests on Instagram and in the comments to do a video of my favourite purchases from the spring collections that I've bought from, and what I haven't liked, what I've used, and so on. Now that I've had a chance to try out most things quite a lot, I thought that would be a good thing to do rather than doing a kind of straight favourites video for last month, February, because I have been mainly using all these new products that I bought. So I've got quite a selection here. These aren't all favourites, I have to say, because overall, although I really enjoyed buying, as you can see, from the spring collections, I have to say I don't think it was a classic spring, and there aren't really that many products that I would class as a must-have or a real thumbs up, sad to say. I'm, getting rid of some of them, barely used. And others, I will use them because I've bought them, but I don't think they're, particularly great products. There is, I guess, one exception to this, which is my definite favourite of last month, of the spring collections. Bit pathetic, really, because I'm not even sure it was meant to be a spring collection release from Dior. It's the Lip Sugar Scrub Sweet Exfoliating Balm. Which I was, excuse me, frog in the throat. I was encouraged to buy by the sales assistant when I was snapping up other things from the colour gradation collection in Dior. She said she really loved this product. I wasn't really in the market for a lip scrub. I have tried them in the past and just found them a bit irritating on the lips, but I kind of semi-reluctantly got it, and I absolutely love it. And I don't think there'd be many people who wouldn't enjoy this product. It is ridiculously pricey for a lip scrub slash balm. I think I'm going to say £26. It might be 24, but either is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Beautifully packaged though it is. But it is definitely a cut above any exfoliating balm I have tried before. It definitely has little tiny grains in, like grains of sugar, but it's not rough. It doesn't rough up or irritate the lips. It has a really unusual sugary mint fragrance taste, and I have to say I'm not normally a great mint lover, but I find this very, very pleasant. It is sweet, so if you really hate sweet things, you're not going to like it, but it's not offensive. It's quite subtle, but definitely there. Supposedly, when you put it on the lips, it reacts a little bit and gives a bit of colour. I don't know if you can see, it's the faintest pink sheen. You can see the granules a little bit. I don't think it really adds any colour to my lips, but I really, really enjoy it. Find myself reaching for it all the time, and that is my clear favourite from all the collections. I think probably the most interesting products overall from all the collections have been the lip products. I think that's been true for the last couple of seasons, that there are all sorts of new formulas. The increased wearability of matte formulas, mattes having become quite fashionable again, the lip stains, the push towards making colour more long-lasting without being a drying formula. And there are two that I think are interesting. When I first tried the Dior Shadow Duo, which is described as a powdery matte finish, I was hugely impressed, and I would have been recommending this as a favourite 3 weeks ago when I got it. But I have to say, like a few Dior products I've had recently, it isn't aging well. Now, the pluses are you have this dual-ended pen, which is a bit difficult to get into, but I really, really liked the sponge applicators to begin with. They're just right for applying a vivid or matte lip colour with reasonable precision, without having to be involved with a lip brush. It was this kind of soft, spongy, and you could just dab it on. I found the colour was very long lasting, and I think you were supposed to be able to do these kind of ombre effects, but I just kind of dotted them on over each other. I was really pleased with this. I was going back for more, but I don't know if you can see, having opened it and used it a few times, I got these kind of powder accumulations, and it slightly does that on your lips as well, which is not very pleasing. Now, I don't know if I got a Duff one because I only bought this one colour, and I don't know if it's to do with how the colour comes up to the sponge, because you don't click or kind of push it up. It basically automatically comes up every time you unscrew and open, which may not be the best way of delivering colour. So, you know, whilst I started off finding that a promising product, I can't really say I recommend it. The same or similar sort of formula in terms of how it feels on the lips when you apply it is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate for lips, but of course coming in the palettes, which is less convenient because for precision you really need a brush. Now, I have to say, I do use a lip brush first thing in the morning if I'm applying this, but I have been using my fingers by and large with these. These aren't doing the kind of bobbling that the Dior one is doing. I picked fairly similar colours there, didn't I? And of the two, I much prefer now the Tom Ford one. I do think if you're interested in these kind of powder colours, the Tom Ford one is a good one to try. Again, it's pricey. I'm going to say it's about 40 quid. Need to look that up. We know what Tom Ford is like, don't we? The colour does last quite well, you know, not as brilliantly as they say, but I find that with all colours. And I quite like the formulation. You do need to kind of moisturise your lips before you apply it. But it's just not as convenient as a lipstick for somebody who doesn't want to mess around like me. And although I've carried it in my handbag, you know, I forget to use it to touch up. So not a must-have, but if you want to try these kind of new formulations, I do think the Tom Ford one is the best of the ones that I've tried. Eye products. I didn't buy the Chanel eye palettes, either of them. I do think they're both really, really nice. I have played with them both a couple of times. Very nice quality, very nice shades. I just didn't really need those shades in my makeup wardrobe at the moment. But I think that was probably the nicest eye palette I saw anywhere. And I think they're permanent, although they've been released as part of the spring collection. I did get the Dior, one of the Dior ones. The other was very kind of bright blue and green. They had some interesting singles as well, but I'm not a single fan. I thought this was gorgeous in the palette, and they're very generous sizes as well. But I have to say, although that yellow is quite interesting and actually brightens up the eye quite nicely and doesn't look sickly, overall I found these colours, if I use them together, kind of ran into each other a bit and became a bit muddy. They didn't last brilliantly, and the whole feel of them was a bit powdery. It's not really a palette that I can recommend, I'm afraid. That was a bit of a fail. And that was kind of it on the eye palettes for me. I do, of course, have a lot. As usual, I bought one of the Chanel Stilos. This is quite a boring colour, you might think, matte taupe. But yeah, it's probably my second favourite or second most used of these products. Who doesn't need a nice dark brown that stays where you put it and is easy to apply? So if you're a fan of the Stilo, as I am, that was a great product. I didn't buy into most of their nail polishes, which were fairly boring to me, Chanel shades. I did buy the Top Coat Black Metamorphosis. Should put this on. You're meant to put it on over other colours. Let's just slap it on there, and it kind of gives a greyish supposedly sophisticated sheen. I don't know. Just looks a bit dirty, doesn't it? Bit of a fail as far as I was concerned. So nail polishes not for me this time round. Blushes and cheek powders were a big part of the releases. My favourite by far, I think, was the Burberry. Just so pretty, both in the palette and if you like a little bit of shimmer on the skin, but not the most densely pigmented, and a little bit of glitter in there, so it almost metallic really. It won't be for everyone. I thought it was gorgeous. The Chanel Cocoa Code, as usual, beautiful palette. And I have used this. It is a bit tricky unless you want to blend them all together to get the individual colours. If you like collecting the Chanel blushes, you're going to get this one. But I don't think it was a classic by any matter of means. Same with the Guerlain. I bought two products. I bought the blush. I'm not a great Guerlain blush person. And again, super pretty. In the pan, but not very pigmented at all. I mean, really having to struggle there to get any colour. And if I'm honest, I was quite disappointed with this. I'm pale and it doesn't show on me. I do, however, like their meteorites, and this was a nice version of it for pale skins. Very cool toned with the lavender, really kind of livening up the skin a bit. And I have used this a lot, probably along with the lip scrub and the eye pencil, my most used products from the spring collection. I should mention Tom Ford, the Sublimate Shade and Illuminate Cheeks. I didn't give this a very good crit when I first opened it, and I do think it's overpriced and you can use other products very similarly, but I have been using it. It does give a very natural look, I will say that for it. It's very easy to use. This is just fingers in, swipe on for a very natural flush, and a very subtle highlighting. Too subtle for me, if I'm totally honest. So I don't take back the fact that I think you can get similar products that would do the same job much cheaper. But if you like these creamy, natural blushes, it does the job. It's a good one. So there we are. Those were my favourites and not so favourites. As I say, I don't think it was a classic spring by any manner of means. I just wanted to mention one product that I have been using a lot as an eye palette, which I think is in stock in most places at the moment. It's Tom Ford's Lilac Dream from last year's spring-summer revamp of the eye palettes. I didn't use it all that much when I first got it, but I found myself absolutely loving it recently. It's just got the most wearable, beautiful, shimmery taupe. Look at that. A very nice, lightning, bright, pinkish white. Loving this quite subtle lavender for transitioning. On the eye, it doesn't, on me, look particularly lavender. Just darkens up in a very beautiful way. And a bit of glitter for the evening, if that be your taste. I don't tend to wear the glitter shade as much. So it's quite a cool toned, slightly shimmery palette that is going to mostly suit very pale women, but I am finding I'm wearing it a lot at the moment, really liking it for this time of year, so thought I'd just mention that one. So until next time, bye for now.